Alright guys, it's your boy Anarchy Arena here. We're here out at the park today, just getting a little bit of relaxing on. I'm going to do a vlog for y'all today. I'm going to go over my top 5 favorite games of all time. It's going to be great. I'm going to walk around the park here, film it, talk about why I like these 5 games. And this is the first vlog of the series. I can't wait to do more of them. I'm going to be doing more. And we'll see how this goes, you know. I've never done one of these before. I hope y'all like it, and I hope that this turns out to be a really good thing. It's a beautiful day here, so let's get it going. Let's start. Alright guys, here on this bridge here, just chilling. Number 5, my 5th favorite game of all time is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the old RPG back in the early 2000s, man. I put more hours in that than I think I could ever remember. That was like probably the first game I put over 200 hours in. And you know, RPG wise, with the skills, with the way the moves go, I mean, it was so ahead of its time, and it's one of the best Star Wars games to date. I mean, they did such a good job, and there's really not been an RPG other than the Old Republic, the MMO, to really follow it. So it really states how good the game was. It's really hard to make another one. As you can see, I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt, so I'm a huge Star Wars fan. You know, I really like the books. I've read almost all of the books. I've gone through damn near all the series. So, you know, Knights of the Old Republic, though, it's a great story. Revan is a deep character, even in the books. And it leads whenever I can find a game to play, even though the resolution and the graphics are so outdated these days, you know, it's still always fun to play it. It's just a great game, and it's a great time. So that has to be number 5, and it's definitely a classic, and I think most people would agree, even probably non-Star Wars fans would say it's one of the better RPGs ever made. Came out on the original Xbox, and it's just a good game. That has to be my number 5, guys. All right, let's move on to number 4. How about that? So yeah, next on the list is the Total War series. Has to be one of the best series ever made on the planet. That is my number 4, Total War. Great games, all of them. I can't just nominate one. I mean, Total War Rome really kicked it off for me. Total War Medieval as well was probably my favorite. But all of them are really good. Even Attila, which a lot of people hated, strategy-wise, you can't beat it. It's one of the most strategic games you can play. And all together, you know, you're bored or you got some friends you want to do a campaign with, dude, it's always there for you. Great game graphically. You know, you take an RTS style game and you put awesome graphics on top of it. You put real life events. You know, you got a good game, and something that everyone can relate to. You know, we all love history, so why not add a little bit of history in it, put a little twist on it for gameplay to make it more interesting, and then, you know, you got fun along with some factual stuff. You know, Age of Empires kind of did that when it was out, but Age of Empires to me was a little bit on the more repetitive side, whereas Total War, man, every time you play it, always a different game. There's so many different ways you can approach it. There's so many ways you can conquer the world, and it's great. Absolutely phenomenal. They did their research on all of the factions that they ever include. There's a lot of research that goes into those games, and they're fantastic. So number 4 on my list, guys, is Total War series. It's number 4. Let's move on to number 3. I gotta figure out somewhere to go. I gotta go, I think I'm gonna go down this way to the water maybe. Let's see if we end up on the water, guys. Let's go. Alright guys, we're just walking down a path here and got a little bit of water coming up. Just wanted to kind of talk to you about number 3 on the list. Alright, number 3. What is number 3, you ask? Well, it is probably a close one for number 2, but this has to be my number 3. But number 3 is Mass Effect. Mass Effect series, all of them, great games. I put probably 800 hours plus into each of the games in the series. It's a great fucking time. Absolutely love it. But guys, I'm out here looking at some fishies jump. It's a great time. But all in all, you know, Mass Effect, you know, the storyline's so deep. They created their own races. You know, when you're creating your own atmosphere, your own world, your own universe, your own economy system, you know, I gotta give props to that. That's technical, man, and that's pretty tough. So Mass Effect 3 was the worst one. The ending was bad. They did DLCs to fix it. But you know, I can't judge it for that, and I can't really hold it against it to ruin the series. The whole series is great. High production value, great time, and altogether, you know, definitely third on the list, solid, easily, maybe even number 2, just because of how much I love it. I love the storyline. I think it's so good. They even came out with books for the series. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but the books are actually really freaking good, and I thoroughly enjoy the story. It actually goes from Captain Anderson's point of view, not Shepard's, so the books are different, and I thoroughly enjoyed them. If you have never played a Mass Effect game, you definitely should be playing that. The first one, even now, as old as it is, you know, it's not too outdated. It works pretty well still, and the storyline and the mechanics are pretty smooth, even for today's gaming. So, number 3 on the list, guys, Mass Effect. All right, I'm gonna find somewhere cool to be so I can do number 2. The top 2 are coming up next, guys. I'm so hyped for these. These are the games I play more than anything on the planet. I'm still playing them right now, so we'll get to it, guys. See you in a minute. Alright guys, so we're going over number 2 on my top 5 favorite games, and this one's a hands down, no brainer. I have more hours in this game than any other game, which may be surprised. You're probably like, well, why isn't it your number 1? Well, the number 1 has a lot more sentimental value, but I still have a ton of hours in my number 1. So, but this game is Borderlands, the whole Borderlands series. Again, it did have a weak one like Mass Effect series. The Mass Effect 3 was definitely not the best. And Borderlands the pre-sequel was probably not the best, but all in all, I mean, you gotta think, I mean, they're great games, and the Borderlands series, it's just so original. You got the humor, you got the killing, you've got the gore, you've got the artistic value of a game that really makes you want to keep playing it. You've got a deep storyline that really keeps you wondering, you know, what's gonna happen next, or what else is out there. You know, you constantly want to know. And then really the number 1 selling point for it when it first came out was all the guns. I mean, Jesus, 17 million guns or something like that, it said. All the variations, because it's on a random weapons generator. And that's really cool. So whenever I'm playing it, I'm not getting the same gun every time. I mean, you can argue that they're the same gun, one has 1 more damage, like 1 damage increase, so that's a different gun. Yeah, that is how it works, but you're not gonna find that all the time. But I never really ran into it that much, even in like the 2,000 hours plus that I played Borderlands altogether. That's for all the games, and you know, I never really found that to be a thing. You're always finding new weapons. There's always an ability or a gun that's just better for the situation you're in. You have elements and elemental effect damage, and there's like a lot of dynamics to how you kill your enemies. You're not just shooting them. There's different ways. You know, Borderlands 2 introduced slag, so you could slag them, makes them take more damage, and then your teammate can come up and pound some serious damage on them. You know, that's absolute teamwork. And that's another thing about Borderlands that really makes it fun, is it's 4-player co-op, and it's a blast, man. You know, when you're playing with your friends, you can't ask for a better time. It's a great game, and I absolutely love the teamwork aspect of it, because you have 4 different characters with all different abilities. You combine all those abilities, you're a super team. I mean, you're absolutely fantastic. You mow everything in shop. But Gearbox knows that, so their bosses, like for example in the first one, Chromarax, holy crap, even with the 4 people, he was hard as hell. Like, it was hard to beat him. They make it hard, but not too hard. It's not impossible. Once you figured Chromarax out, you knew how to beat him. And you know, I can't say enough about Borderlands. Borderlands 1 has to be my all-time favorite, just because of when it came out. It was the best game at the time. You know, T-Bone Junction was one of the best DLCs I've ever played for any game. It was fantastic. I've spent more time on T-Bone Junction than the regular game, I think. You know, with the General Knox Armory, with Chromarax, it's just awesome. I mean, you can't beat that DLC for me. I would spend hours just running through General Knox over and over again, going to his armory, trying to find a pearlescent, getting the gold. You know, it's all good stuff. So, you know, Borderlands is definitely number 2, and a good solid number 2. Nothing will ever take it out, I don't think. I think, you know, that's going to be a game that I'll play to the day I die. I'm still playing Borderlands to this day. I just started a new Necromancer class. I love it. I love Borderlands. Absolutely one of the most fun games ever made. And I can't wait for Borderlands 3 or whatever the next installment's going to be. All right, guys. Going to keep going down this path here and see where it takes us for my number one favorite game of all time. All right, guys. Oh man, here we go, guys. Going on the wobbly platform. Probably shouldn't take my camera near the water like this, it's risky. Oh man. Ooh, boy, here we are on the wobbly platform. Alright, this is the spot. Alright guys, y'all are waiting for my number one favorite game of all time. I'm waiting to tell you, I'm dying to tell you. Here it is, number one. My favorite game of all time is Fallout New Vegas. And not the Fallout series, but Fallout New Vegas. I love the Fallout series, I think it's really good. Fallout 4 though, wasn't better than New Vegas to me. New Vegas is my favorite game because of the replayability factor. You can never get every skill to max on one single playthrough. It's impossible. So you have to dedicate. Are you going to be a melee guy? Are you going to be a armor guy? Are you going to be heavy armor or light armor? Are you going to be guns or energy weapons? You know, you really have to pick. And each time you play it, you pick a different one. So that's right there between melee, guns, and energy weapons. That's 3 playthroughs right there. So replayability factor is huge in New Vegas. And that is why it is my number one most favorite game. Alright guys, so funny story, right? I was on that platform telling y'all about my number one favorite game. Mid freaking shot, bunch of kids just come up and run to me and hug me and they're like, "Are you a news reporter?" Oh my goodness, I about had a field day. I was dying laughing. The camera didn't catch the kids, so I mean I would have put in like a blooper reel, but it was hilarious. So that's why we're here now to continue with Fallout New Vegas. I'm sorry for the quick change of scenery here. This is pretty cool though, a little pathway here, nice bench. So, you know, I'm gonna go on with New Vegas here, guys. But New Vegas, so what I was saying, you know, basically replayability with the way the character skills and everything's laid out. You know, it's a great design, perfect design. You could always play the game, build your character slightly different, and get a different result with your character build. So I never got tired of it. And when you make an energy weapons character, you know, you have strengths that your guns guy didn't have. So certain parts of the story are going to be easier. And sometimes you love that. Like you're just playing, you're like, golly, man, I had such a hard time with other characters. It's so nice to be able to fly through this part of the story. So, you know, when it comes to replayability, it's huge. And I just never got tired of it. I have so many hours in New Vegas. It's unimaginable how many times I probably have played through the story with all the DLCs at least 6-7 times, you know, definitely. And I just love it. I can't get enough of it. I think it's the best game. You know, it's one of those games where I could put myself in the character. Like I literally feel like I'm building the character as me. And I put myself in his shoes with the what if factor. You know, what if the nuclear fallout happened? What if bottle caps were the trading currency? And, you know, that's the fun part to me is I feel like the New Vegas storyline isn't really that unrealistic. You know, how would Las Vegas look after a nuke went off? You know, I think they've got a really good idea there. You know, it's a really imaginative view, and I like it. I think it's really good. It's definitely realistic in the sense, like it could totally be like that. So especially if it went off in the 50s. So it's just a great job. I love the storyline, and I think it's fantastic. Another thing that separates this game from any other game ever made, the DLCs are the best. The best DLCs to ever come out for any game, the best storylines, the best voice acting, the best just general mechanics for the new guns being added. It's just all of them, man. You know, the Lonely Road, you know, when you're fighting that guy that's guiding you the way through, you find Eddie, and, you know, you have Edie and Eddie now. You're watching nukes potentially go off that never actually went off. You go through the story of how it happened, how deep it was, and how this guy's controlling the next nuclear fallout, which is he does, and you pick where the bombs go at the end. So, you know, that's super interesting. And then you finally catch them though, and you got to make a decision. Do you kill them? Do you keep them alive? If you kill them, you pick where the missiles go. If you keep them alive, then it's set to a predetermined destination. You know, is he a bad guy? Is he crazy? I don't know. You have to see for yourself. It's just so good. It's so deep. You could take so many angles on it. The Lonely Hearts expansion or whatever it's called, with the tribal, I mean, oh my gosh, then you go to more of a Native American look. I mean, how dynamic is that? You know, it's just so cool. They just did a great job with the DLC. I thought it was super interesting. You even go to a alien, you know, research facility in one of the expansions, the Old World Blues or whatever that one's called. Just awesome. I just think New Vegas was one of the best games ever made, hands down, and it's definitely my favorite game of all time. So guys, that is my number one, New Vegas. I can't get enough of it. It's just a great game. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'm gonna have to wrap up here before I have more kids hunt me down and hug me thinking I'm like someone famous. So I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. This is vlog number one. I can't wait to do more. What do you want me to do a vlog over, guys? Or what do you want to know about me? I can do a vlog over. I can find some cool places to go, travel around the state of Texas. I can't really go too far given my scenario. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I've loved doing this. This has been a blast. So I will see you next time. Don't forget Anarchy Arena Talk Show on Twitch. The URL will be down below this video. Check it out, man. It's Saturdays, Central Standard Time at 10 p.m. Don't forget to tune into that. It's a great time. I got me and my boys on there. We always have a special guest as our number 4. It's a great time. If you've never seen the talk show, dude, tune in. You'll probably shoot me a follow. It's a great time. All right, guys. See you later. Thank you for watching.